Should countries adopt a circular economy? Hi everyone. Today I'd like to discuss one of the most transformative ideas in environmental and industrial economics. Should countries replace the traditional linear economy with a circular economy? For much of modern history, economic development has followed a linear model of production. Natural resources are extracted, transformed into products, consumed, and ultimately discarded as waste. This take-make depot model has fueled remarkable economic growth, but it has also generated increasing environmental pressures, including resource depletion, pollution, and mounting volumes of waste. In response, policymakers and economists have proposed an alternative framework known as the circular economy. Rather than treating products as disposable, the circular economy seeks to extend the life cycle of materials through reuse, repair, remanufacturing, and recycling. Supporters argue that this approach improves resource efficiency by maximizing the value extracted from existing materials before new resources are consumed. Such efficiency is becoming increasingly important as global demand for critical minerals, rare earth elements, and industrial metals continues to rise. Another advantage concerns negative externalities. The extraction of raw materials often imposes environmental costs, including habitat destruction, carbon emissions, and water pollution that are not fully reflected in market prices. By reducing dependence on virgin resources, circular production can mitigate these external costs while preserving natural capital for future generations. The circular economy may also strengthen economic resilience. Many countries rely heavily on imported raw materials that are vulnerable to geopolitical tensions, supply chain disruptions, or export restrictions. Recovering valuable materials from discarded products reduces dependence on unstable international markets and enhances national resource security. Furthermore, circular business models have created new economic opportunities. Industries specializing in refurbishment, repair services, industrial recycling, and products as a service models are expanding rapidly. These sectors generate employment while reducing material waste, illustrating that environmental sustainability and economic growth need not be mutually exclusive. However, critics argue that implementing a circular economy is neither simple nor inexpensive. Redesigning products for recyclability often requires substantial investment in research, manufacturing processes, and collection infrastructure. For many firms, these transition costs may be considerable. Another concern involves economic feasibility. Not all materials can be recycled indefinitely without degradation. Certain recycling processes consume significant amounts of energy, and in some cases, producing new materials remains less expensive than recovering used ones. Consequently, the environmental and economic benefits of circular production vary substantially across industries. Critics also caution against excessive optimism. Improved resource efficiency may produce a rebound effect, whereby lower production costs encourage greater overall consumption. If consumers purchase more products because they appear environmentally friendly, total resource use may remain high despite improvements in recycling. In my opinion, the circular economy represents an important long-term direction for industrial development, but it should complement rather than replace market mechanisms. Governments should encourage innovation through research funding, clear regulatory standards, and appropriate economic incentives rather than imposing rigid production requirements. The transition should be gradual, evidence-based, and technologically adaptable. Ultimately, economic prosperity depends not only on producing more goods, but also on using resources more intelligently. The circular economy challenges societies to reconsider a fundamental assumption of industrial development, that economic growth must inevitably generate increasing waste. Whether that assumption remains valid may shape the future of sustainable development. So here's my question. Should governments actively promote the transition to a circular economy through regulation and incentives? Or should market forces determine whether circular production models become economically viable? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for listening. See you next time.